Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Merry football day to one and all. This is, of course, another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And first, the usual disclaimers. But before we do, apologies in advance, folks. Fall allergies are kicking my ass. Plus, I've been doing the 5 days of sales. My voice is shit, and I've been hacking. Oh my god. It's been fun. It's been real fun. So if I hack or clear my throat and it's really loud, I do apologize, all right? I don't have an edit button, or if I do, I don't know how to use it. I'm slightly technologically challenged when it comes to this sort of vidding thing. I'm relatively new. Have mercy on the newbie, okay? All right. In the description box, folks, you're going to find the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, where they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals from all over the world in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote batshit insane behavioral modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused to comply, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. We also have the link to NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We also have the pertinent links in regards to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school straight out of the JRC's playbook. They're based out of Stockton, Missouri, and take in so-called troubled male teens, including male teens with autism, ADHD, ODD, and, it's a long list, all right? People who are obviously not professionals who have no business dealing with people like me. I'm just saying is all. They have, and pending, over 21 substantiated claims and lawsuits leveled against them that are alleging child abuse, sexual abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, starvation, and yes, even child trafficking. So far, we've had one former staff member arrested by the FBI. We had another, a doctor, who still lives on the premises, who is up on multiple substantiated by DSS charges of sodomy and sexual abuse against the students on the campus. Folks, Missouri has dropped the ball. Eric Schmidt has fucking dropped the ball and made us into a fucking national laughing stock. On top of leaving those poor boys stuck in that fucking hellhole. So please, let Attorney General Eric Schmidt hear you. His is at AG Eric Schmidt on Twitter. Let them know how you feel, alright? Please read all the articles, share them on all your social media, make it viral. We also have the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. Again, sign, make that viral too, and tag that bastard in it, alright? I'm feeling salty this morning, very salty. Alright, we also got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. The templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Trigger warning, we're about to hear a bunch of word salad stupid come out of the JRC as per normal, in order to defend their completely nonsensical, batshit insane behavior program. So, just trigger warning, know that it's coming, alright? Also, this channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subject. If your child is 16 and under and they are watching this channel, please, for the love of God, parental supervision is advised, all right? Okay, it is 5:34 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday, which means it's still too goddamn early. I'm very stupid o'clock to one at all. So if I stumble over my words, folks, apologies in advance, all right? Okay, so let's go to where we left off yesterday and brace our shoulders here. We're about to get into the stupid. Okay. 3 behavioral contracts. Before we get into this, you remember what the behavioral contracts are, right? That is the JRC using that as a means to abuse their power. They use nonsensical, vague ass terms that can be literally meant to be turned into whatever the fucking staff member wants it to goddamn mean. The child has no defense if they're told that they're violating their contract and will be put on loss of privileges where they're not allowed to speak unless given fucking permission to. And they can be shocked at any time over fucking anything. But let's see what bullshit they're going to try and tell us. We can set contracts with the student in which, if the student goes for a certain period of time without displaying problematic behavior, he or she earns some special reward. Again, this is bullshit. Here's the terms. And please look this up. We have the receipts on it. We have linked in there Jennifer Masamba's behavioral sheet that she has unleashed on social media to prove these bastards as the insane monsters that they are. They use terms like non-compliance. Well, what the fuck does that mean, you might say? Whatever the JRC says the fuck it does. Great, right? Non-compliance can be as nonsensical as refusing to remove your coat. Is a person wearing a quote coat hurting anyone? No. Is it an act of aggression to anyone outside of the JRC who can rub 2 brain cells together? No. But the JRC is going to say the fuck it is. And they're going to slam that student on a 4-point board face down with a helmet and shock them over 31 times over a 7-hour period. And they're going to justify the additional shocks because, well, he was tensing and that's an act of aggression. Or it could be the after effect of being electrocuted. Muscles tense. It's a natural bodily response. But we're going to shock you for that too. Behavioral contracts. It's not the cell you think it is, JRC, especially those of us who've been following this case for so long who knows what they actually are. It's a license for you to act like dictator over these kids and their lives and to make their lives hell. And say, well, you see, they're not following their contract, so if these kids complain, they can say, but see, on their behavioral contract, it gives me the right to do it. And the judge signed off on it, so. The judge signed off on hanging witches back in the day or setting them on fire. Not the fucking flex you think it is, JRC. Can I please say that? I know I've said it a lot, but Massachusetts doesn't have the best fucking track record when it comes to courts making the right decisions. Salem ring any bells to anyone. You can't use that as a flex and defense every time, JRC. Look at the fucking history of your state for 5 minutes. Okay? Judges make batshit insane decisions every goddamn day. You gotta come up with something fucking better if you want to blow smoke up our ass. Then, but the court said it's safe. What the fuck do they know about it? What the JRC tells them to know about it. Bullshit, and it's bad for you. But let's move on. Punishment. Remember, this is not a punishment model, folks. For those who like to insist, but it's not based around punishment, you sure love using the fucking word, don't you? Punishment, consequences. Call it what it really is, JRC. You're punishing us for daring to be alive while disabled. Well, there's karma, folks, and you can join our disabled fucking ranks at any goddamn time. At any goddamn time. And karma, she's got a long fucking memory. Just saying. Just gonna leave that there. Punishment, adding a decelerating consequence. Remember what decelerating is, folks. They're not going to explain it, so I'm going to do it for them. That means they're going to use the GED to torture the kid into compliance. And if y'all want to remember what that looks like, we have linked what happened to Andre McCollins back in 2002. So you can see what the fuck their shit looks like. That the behavior produces. We can arrange an effective point fine, loss of privileges, or with court approval, physical aversive consequence each time that the student engages in the behavior. Fucking fabulous. So every time I act within my neurology, including stimming, which remember, what is stimming, folks? It's a self-regulatory repetitive behavior that helps me calm my ass the fuck down so I can deal with fucking neurotypicals without losing my shit. That's what stimming is. But the JRC don't care because it doesn't look normal. So they're going to torture us for trying to self-regulate ourselves so we don't give in to the behaviors that they're so goddamn afraid of. Makes perfect sense, right? This is what I mean when I say that JRC and ABA does not understand on a psychological or any other level the people they claim to treat. Not even a little bit. If they did, they would understand the function of a fucking STEM. And instead of, punishing it because it makes normies feel uncomfortable, they might help allow us to have that STEM, even though it looks strange to them, so we don't then get up frustrated and punch someone in the fucking throat. Okay? But remember, we can't have logic. We can't actually shut our mouths long enough and stop assuming that we know everything long enough to actually listen to autistics. No, we're experts, and this is what I learned in Harvard, Yale, and all that bullshit. Well, Yale's also using radiation to chemically lobotomize us. You have to excuse me if I don't hold them as the peak of autism expertise. That role goes to us autistics because, drumroll, we live with it. Okay? If you want to learn about autism, you want to know how to best help us, throw out everything you think you know. Everything you've been taught, everything that's been whispered in your ears by the medical model, throw it out. Throw it out. It's completely fucking useless. Throw it out. And then learn from us. Learn from us. All right? All right. We're going to go to E, and then we'll break into it a little bit more tomorrow. Altering the stimulus control, for fuck's sake. So this is where they try to tell us, but you stand and it makes you look weird. The fuck I care if you think I look weird. You think I give a shit? Do you think I ever gave a shit? Nah. I never did. Never fucking did. There became a point in time where I actually reveled in being the weird one that stands out. I never wanted to blend in. Fuck that shit. But moving on. If procedures A through D above are not sufficiently effective by themselves to treat the behavior effectively, We can also undertake some deliberate stimulus training to weaken the undesired stimulus control that the stimulus has acquired. By building and strengthening the stimulus control that the stimulus should have over more appropriate behaviors. The procedure that we employ to do this is called treatment programmed opportunities. In other words, we're going to take away from you your self-regulatory behavior, right? We're going to take away from you your self-regulatory behavior, what you use in order to calm yourself down and keep you from behaviors. Right? All right, hold on. I got to deal with a cat. Hold on to that thought. I think we have an escapee. Oh, yeah, no, we don't. Cool. Good. Okay. Now, let me get back to that thought I was just telling you. So, we're going to take away your self-regulatory behavior, and we're going to replace it with something we think looks more normal. Guess what, JRC? It doesn't help. It does not perform the function we need it to because it is not natural to us. So what does this mean, folks? It means all it does is teach us to further mask. And when you basically browbeat and physically beat and shock the stem out of us, that is one less tool that we have in order to regulate ourselves to keep engaging from the behaviors they're so fucking afraid of. Does this make logical sense to you? No, it doesn't. The reason why they try to get the stems to go away is because you all don't fucking understand them. You don't understand their purpose, and because it makes people look at you and look at your fucking kid, and because it fucking embarrasses you. Most people are more likely to want the stem to go away because it causes people to look at you and your kid and it embarrasses you. Then you care about the fact that the stem has a goddamn purpose. It's what's keeping your kid from acting out in the fucking grocery store. Grocery stores can be sensory hell, especially when you're a kid and you're not really trained for it. The constant hum of the fluorescent lighting, the cool to hot, depending on the fucking section that you're in. Bunch of fucking crowded places, especially when you have to grocery shop on the goddamn weekend. Fuck me. Where you got a bunch of people muttering everywhere. Some will stop in the middle of a fucking aisle and just have a conversation blocking up the entire goddamn thing. When you're just trying to run through your routine to get what you need and get the fuck out as fast as humanly possible. You got people behind you saying, move, move, move. You've got all kinds of different sensory stimuli that are going on in a basic fucking grocery store that most neurotypicals are not even aware of. So when we are self-regulating and fucking stimming because of the chaotic mess that can be going to a goddamn grocery store, it's to keep from freaking the fuck out, especially when we're kids, and it's a lot easier to go to 0 to 60. Those are ages where we haven't learned to fucking mask yet, you bastards. So we are self-regulating. Oh, but the parents, but you're embarrassed and people are looking at you and your child. So what we got to do, because it looks strange, is we're going to take away the one thing your kid fucking has to not freak out in a grocery store, and then you're mad when they do freak out. Doesn't make sense, does it? Now, I'm not blaming all parents, by the way. Not all parents are like this. A lot of parents don't necessarily understand what function the stem serves. So for those parents, please listen to me. Don't take the stems from your fucking kids. If your kids are doing something that you don't understand and it's not dangerous or affecting anyone, leave it the fuck alone. It's more than likely a self-regulatory behavior, and it's keeping us from standing out even more in the grocery store, from freaking out, okay? For those parents who are acting out of genuine ignorance and just as we're programmed to do as a society, listening on the recommendations of the professionals, let me tell you, a good majority of the professionals don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't. They don't. Don't take your stems from your kids. Unless that stem is causing you or them any harm, leave it alone. Leave it alone. You'll be a lot happier and so will they. Okay? Okay? Places like JRC and ABA try to program this shit out of us because to them it's weird. They don't understand what their purpose is. And because it makes them embarrassed and because they want to force us into neurotypical behaviors, fucking spare me, they're going to take it away from us. One of the few fucking things that we got to deal with you people. Okay? Living in this world is already a mind-numbing fucking mindfuck from hell for most of us autistics, ADHDers, and all of us neurodiverse. It's already a mindfuck, okay? Do not take from us the few things that we fucking got just to be able to handle getting by the day-to-day. Oh, but we can't have that. Because, you see, it's not normal. Therefore, we got to do all this bullshit to force you to act normal. By the way, me stimming is a hell of a lot better than what some of those neurotypicals get up to deal with their stress. You know, drinking, drugs, that shit. By the way, what happens when these people try to program those stems out of us? Guess what we turn to? Drugs, alcohol, just to be able to handle the day-to-day shit and insanity of a world that's not built for us. Sorry I had to harp on that, but God, we're tired. We're tired, folks. We are tired of repeating of ourselves to ears that refuse to fucking listen because they think they goddamn know everything. You don't. You don't know shit. Sit down with your fucking degree, take your goddamn seat, and start listening to what your patients are telling you. If it is a stem and it is harmless, but you don't like it because it makes the person look weird, that's not your fucking problem, is it? Just saying. I'm going to close out on that, folks. I'm sorry I went harping, but this whole idea, but we got to replace it with more normal behaviors. No, you don't. No, you don't. All you're doing is teaching us to mask and once again bearing down on us that we, as we are, stems and all, will never be good enough. So we have to fake being some fake-ass fucking person every second of our goddamn lives to be accepted, appreciated, and considered a human being. I'm going to close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye. Kitty says goodbye too. Bye, everyone.